Hello everybody and welcome on this beautiful Sunday. Welcome here to the Heroes Launch main channel. I'm not alone for this beautiful Epic Cup on the Sunday. I'm joined by Josh.
Pico, and as I've said yesterday, Epic Cup is where we send teams who go well in Rare Cup. And today's cup starts with a match that's no different from my chances. Kwak-A-Mole are the current reigning Rare Cup champions if we don't count what happened yesterday. They are playing against German Efficiency, and Kwak-A-Mole should be the favorite in this matchup.
They will be the first game of today here. The second game today on this channel will be Tactical Suicide against COB Antimeta. Meanwhile, we have on the second channel, we have Sardinis in the can against Lux Strikes again as first game. In the second game, there will be Unleashed against All Blacks. Any predictions from you for this game, Josh?
Well, I like my statements about the Rare Cup, and I like my Rare Cup a lot. So I am a little bit biased, and I will go on and predict the Kwak-A-Mole versus Unleashed finals, in which Kwak-A-Mole will quack them all. So
Alright. Teams are already in the lobby. Have a short look on the map draft. We see here the blue team, Kwak-A-Mole, banning out Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple. Meanwhile, we have German Efficiency banning out Praxis Holdout and Volskaya Foundry. And to pick from the side of Kwak-A-Mole is the all-time launch favorite and long-time standing map we always see, Infernal Shrines.
this map can be quite tense, especially in the late game, but it also is quite interesting throughout. So I will be interested by the draft, and we will see what will happen further along the line. Kwak-A-Mole have a rather defined playstyle. They have been playing their Greymanes and their Lucios way back in Season 12 and in Season 13. They are not willing to switch their strategy around much.
Yeah, if you think, you Josh, and everyone else in the chat think that Kwak-A-Mole will be winning this exclamation mark, bet A in the number of points you want to bet on them, or exclamation mark bet B if you think German Efficiency will be efficient enough to take the first map off of them.
And ETC is going to be our first ban. In the Rare Cup, the main focus was on two different characters, the Imperious and the Brightwing, for some particular reason. But in the Epic Cup, the meta might change, or will it stay the same? What is your opinion about that?
I believe it's probably changing a little bit, but it should stay kind of the same overall. In time, looking at those teams, I have German Efficiency with a really high priority in the Decade who just got banned out by Kwak-A-Mole. Sees the most played hero from the side of German Efficiency, and then the next three high picks on their side are Urel, Stukov, and a hero I talked a little bit about yesterday already. It's gonna be the Kerrigan. So this might be something, especially on Infernal Shrines, we see coming in the Kerrigan and Stukov with a lot of blow-up potential on the side of German Efficiency.
They also have that Kalthas with 9 picks, a little bit lower down the line, but Imperious is going to be the ban for the time being. Both teams so far banning out the things that that other teams usually prefer to ban against them. For example, Deckard and ETC are both the most banned hero against German Efficiency and Kwak-A-Mole respectively, and Imperious takes second place. Chromie, unfortunately, is not on that list, but Chromie was and continues being a very strong character. Instant Diva.
German Efficiency with the early Diva pick coming in here. I mean, I really like the Diva pick coming in, as she's a really strong hero for the solo lane, especially on this map with the Diva Explosion. You can zone out the opponents quite a lot and take some skeletons yourself.
Have to point out that both teams are playing with subs today, so the stats will be a little bit incorrect, with the Diva player being the sub on the side of German Efficiency, which allows them to pick characters that they maybe are not that proficient with, that they maybe have not played as much. Diva is not in their top 5, and it allows them to take a very interesting potshot at Kwak-A-Mole, who have been picking Diva 10 times this season already. Joanna and Kerrigan come out, as we see a little bit of Interest rising up in the draft.
Yeah, with the Jaina and Kerrigan being picked up, I mean, I see a lot of wave clear on the side of German efficiency, and they still have a spot open for a potential mage coming out, like the Jaina, something along those lines. And with Kerrigan, you also start already on in terms of pickoff. Jaina and Diva not the greatest for that. Might be something they have to be careful. We get a Stukov in to help the Kerrigan
Well,
with trying to one-shot stuff.
you do still need to pick up the healer, but the healer pool is quite open, so Greymane is going to be the ban from Kwak-A-Mole, which is interesting considering that Greymane is their most picked character, so might be a little bit of shooting yourself in the foot there.
Potentially, yeah. Especially because they have the next two picks, so they could even pick it up before the opponents. In the meantime, we see a ban against Leoric. Quite understandable. Leoric, really strong tool, has a lot of wave clear, so he can also do a lot of damage on the shrines to the shrine minions. He also has the drain for Johanna and Diva, quite annoying. But also having the Wraith Walk to not be an easy target for the Kerrigan combo, and also he could potentially opt into the damage reduction on level 13. Really makes Kerrigan not so scary anymore.
Well, we have the Mal'Ganis and the Deathwing shown up in the Nexus. Have not seen that pick much yesterday, but the Squishy Lizard is still a very big, a very chunky boy that can drop down on their opponent's hands, on their opponent's heads and crush them, and probably just fire them to death with a Q.
Yeah, especially Deathwing cannot be CC'd, so Kerrigan is definitely not gonna have a fun time against him. We saw it yesterday, even in CCL, being picked up against Kerrigan 2 times. It worked really good. I'm a little bit worried about the Mal'Ganis pick, because if he gets locked down by something along the lines of a Stukov or a Gul'dan, which are now the pickups from German efficiency, with the Stukov Silence Kerrigan combo and the Gul'dan Horrify, can be really scary for Mal'Ganis. So he definitely has to be careful there.
Well, speaking about those crowd control abilities, I have to point out the fact that was my favorite throughout season 12 casting. Kwak-A-Mole actually had a lot of high five plays with Lucio, and they have picked him twice with the high five in the Rare Cup last season, and they have won both of those games. So that might be a thing that we might see today as well, a little bit spicy. Meanwhile, Zul is shown up as probably a better offlane choice compared to the Deathwing.
Yeah? I mean, one thing Zul is also very good at is shutting down melee assassins like the Kerrigan. Because if Kerrigan goes in onto the Xul, he just presses his shield, he roots her, and he also reduces her attack speed with the W. And he can also opt into Weaken on level 16, which reduces her damage for even more. So Xul is definitely a really good pickup against the Kerrigan. Just a little bit worried for the side of German efficiency. I mean, they have a very strong poke combo in general. But then they pick the Kerrigan into it. Kerrigan, which just wants to burst down single targets. I'm a little bit worried about that one. But we shall see this game number 1 if they manage to do that. Or if Kwak-A-Mole will just fire them to death with Deathwing and Kel'Thuz on their side.
While we are loading in, let me point you in the direction of my favorite stat, which is never tracked by anyone, including the stream, but portrait synergy. On the side of Kwak-A-Mole, we do have 5 different murky portraits, which does get some theming. We do see the moles that they are intending to quack. But on the side of German efficiency, not quite efficient in the terms of portrait synergy. 5 completely different portraits, and I do not find the link between those. So I guess that parameter goes to the extra cup team wholeheartedly 100%.
Kwak-A-Mole with the advantage of the portrait synergy going into this game number 1. It's always a thing you have to look out, you know? Always. Right, so
And
let's
speaking of looking out, we do have our game number 1 with Kwak-A-Mole on the left with Herm playing as the Deathwing, Joeri the sub on Zul, Doomratcoat as the Lucio, Bobhead Konyin on the Kel'Thuz, and Dizzy Dwarf picking up the Mal'Ganis.
And to the right side, we have German efficiency. We've got classics on the Johanna. Kyuzo playing the Kerrigan, I guess it is? Black Dragon on the Gul'dan. Nefella playing the Stukov and 0-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1 on the Diva.
I'm actually trying to count the amount of ones there.
Pretty sure I got it wrong. Anyway, looking at the talents so far, we see Shakla, which is usually the level 1 pickup if you want to go W build for Xul. Because then you get a lot of auto attacks in and get a lot of cooldown reduction in with against those targets for your shield. We actually got chaotic energies. It might be a drain build cooldown, how my friends enjoy to call it Twitch build.
Okay, that's 11 ones in that nickname. I hope I did not miss anything, except for that engage on Bobhead Pony and the Kalthus lose half HP, but gets a wind in reverse, and we do see a lot of damage put into Kusya, who almost goes down, but is able to get away thanks to the power of Medallion. But Johanna is dead, traded for the Kalthus. A very explosive start to the day.
1-for-1 trade early on. It's doing... boosting both teams a little bit in experience, but taking away the Johanna on the side of German efficiency. They're not really able to step up that easily anymore on the lane, as their tank is now missing.
Okay, so I like the fact that both teams' subs are offlaners, which means that your communication will not suffer as much as it usually does when you're picking a substitute player. But also means that the teams will probably try to stay clear of maps where offlane is very important, such as Dragonshy, such as Braxis, which was banned already.
Sleep onto Johanna here. Doing red card on the Lucy, doing a little bit of a mosquito play and just be annoying.
Well, being annoying is a thing that people do quite well sometimes, and it might be a specialty of some of those teams, who might know. A very nice force from Kwak-A-Mole, making sure that German efficiency are not taken the bot camp before committing fully to it themselves. Being only 3v4 at the time, actually kinda weird decision from German efficiency, but I think they are just trying to scale a little bit, maybe, or something along those lines.
Now we have level 4 coming for both teams. From the side of Stefan, we see him opting into a Q build. So looking to stand back and just prep a little bit into the opponent and let them burn down. Instead of go down, we keep on going with the drain build.
Well, at least the German efficiency carry player also knows that cooldown sucks, and cooldown sucks a lot, and decides to make this a positive thing instead of a negative one, which all power to him, honestly. We do see both teams taking down their Brosa camps before the first objective spawns in, and it will be a Frozen Shrine in the mid lane. Frozen Punisher is the most important one because it does turn off the building, so the action will be heating up from second one, pretty much.
Back from them coming in there. See, so far a 17-8 lead in favor for German efficiency. With the Kerrigan, definitely have a little bit of lead. Diva also has a bomb ready. He's going for an engage, but he's getting stunned by Condemn. Only gets to speed onto the cooldown. Now we see the root onto Johanna, but here's the Iron Skin up. Iron Skin goes out, but the root hits before that. Now we have 26 to 20 in terms of Shrine minions. Diva has a bomb ready. He's looking to use it. Kerrigan misses the combo. Dodged by
and
the
a lot of people on the right side are on quite low HP values,
about to get
but
the objective.
it's just not...
3 minions missing, 2 to Kerrigan, Diva
and that's enough. And Kwak-A-Mole have been looking to getting down those health bars, getting some kills maybe even, but the kills were not found, and the focus results in the fact that Red team takes the first objective, and it's going to get aggroed over a wall by Bob Hakonian. Very interesting choice to have the Kel'Thas tank it, but you know, what works works. Classic's gonna get engaged on the Iron Skin popped by the Johanna, as the Johanna just walks away. Very common, very classic play.
One thing we saw there was when the Punisher jumped in, Kerrigan was already looking for a combo. So if Morganis would have tanked that combo from the jump from the Punisher, Kerrigan would have hit the combo, and then they might have even have looked at him, try and jump in on him, kill him even.
And let's proceed. We do have a slight engage on Joari in the mid lane. Well, I say slight, but that's actually a 5-man gank, which will succeed in getting the kills there. And we do have German efficiency getting ahead slightly once again, 2 kills to 1, and a very, very slight XP lead in favor of them.
A bit of experience hit there. I think the wall in the mid lane is pretty low already, so if you just push in a little bit there with a minion wave, you can take down the wall and also grab some experience for yourself there. Bottom camp now has to take him by German efficiency.
Well, every extra camp is extra experience and extra pressure on the maps that your opponent has to respond to. We do see the D.Va doing that on the mid lane, trying to defend against the cap of Kwak-A-Mole. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, there is a 4-man push. Nafela not looking too healthy, but the red team does not wish to overstay, just disengaging for the time being. Keeping themselves alive, although the engage and do red coat will see the Lucio go down to very low health. Although the jumpy boy gets to jump away and live another day.
Stays alive for another day, but now we have level 10 for German efficiency coming in with the Ultralisk. Massive shove, the Horrify, micro missiles, and Johanna going a bit of standard going for plus shield and no falling circle combo wombo style.
Yeah, the circle meta is definitely not on the side of German efficiency so far, although we do have the scary circle with Gul'dan, so that's at least something. On the other side, we do have another scary circle by the Deathwing. We also have the Skeletal Mages, the Sound Barrier. We do have another 4-man gank on Joari, who will proceed to lose all of his HP and die, rather unfortunate. The orange is picked up by the Kel'Thas, and we also have the Carrion Swarm by the Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, also looking at the invite for the Bruiser camp, maybe. Just get a kill there. Combo misses there, but Kerrigan is now getting engaged. Don Mal'Ganis goes in. Sleep onto 2 Pyroblast is coming in for the Kerrigan, and Kerrigan looks pretty much dead there.
An orange a day keeps the backline assassin away. In the tavern, in the Nexus, dead. Anyway, the Horrify connects with both Lucio and the KT, mean Kwak-A-Mole will not have enough damage to secure any kills, any further kills there. The next objective spawns in, and that's a little bit of a moment of weakness for German efficiency, so Kwak-A-Mole can start getting that early advantage on the Arcane Punisher in the bot lane.
Kwak-A-Mole definitely being ahead in terms of circle race. With Lucio they have the shield circle. Definitely has another horrifying circle.
The sound circle, the scare circle, and the bad circle. Bad circle actually sounds like something out of a comic, so...
Yeah. I mean, would you call the Pyroblast also a circle?
I mean, it is a sphere, right?
I guess it's a lot of circles.
If you look at
then.
it...
It's a lot of circles.
Yeah. A sphere is actually an infinite amount of circles, so I think that they have gone for the only correct choice to win the circle meta.
In the
The issue
meantime,
is, it's not quite equal to the game.
In the meantime, Kwak-A-Mole now got the Punisher, jumps onto 2, and they're pushing in the bottom lane now. In the meantime, with Sukrona, Mid, and D.Va pushing in for German efficiency on the top side with a Bruiser camp. Now she's slowing down the Q in the rotation. Now we have
Engage
on here,
is
jump
here
on.
for Kwak-A-Mole. We do have a lot of sleeps coming out from the Mal'Ganis, who gets massive shove out of here. A lot of damage done to classics, but the Johanna will just press D and walk away as soon as she feels scared. You know how it works usually. Ultralisk not used too great, does not find a stun on anyone, but the Horrify connects with 3 and Bobcat Connie and will get engaged on by the D.Va while Johanna is traded for the Mal'Ganis in the other part of the fight.
Herm dropping really low on the Deathwing. He gets taken down as well too for 1 in favor for German efficiency.
I mean, you can't heal a Deathwing, right? So... unfortunately, you can't even save him that well. And when he can't save himself, the egoistical squishy lizard still gets to be quite squishy, especially with those armor plates going down.
Spheres are just circles with extra steps. Meanwhile, chat. Alright.
Words to live by.
The push in the top wave got the German efficiency the wall, which was very nice for them. In the meantime, the bottom lane. Now we
And the push on the bot lane also gets down the wall. Herm drops down, but he's slightly too slow to catch out anyone. However, nope. Unfortunately, the W also misses, and Kwak-A-Mole are left with nothing. Meanwhile, German Efficiency do lose the fort in the bot lane, but they retaliate with 2 walls in the bot and the top, so slightly equalish, and German Efficiency are still ahead in experience, actually, just picking up level 15.
level 15. This state level 16. Kerrigan becomes another scary powerhouse with the W talent on 16, which is usually a pick. It's definitely a thing you have to be careful for. Especially Kerrigan is also getting closer to finishing a level 4 quest, which will give her a big power spike as well. Deathwing also. Yeah, they also have great level 16 talents coming with Deathwing's consideration. Lucy, of course, with the healer. Oh, Deathwing getting engaged on, but he just fears them away.
I mean, the Deathwing is kind of spooky, and the team does not wanna fight with a spooky, scary Deathwing guy.
Well,
Azul
scary,
gonna
so
walk where he shouldn't have, and receives a lot of damage, but stays alive against all odds. We do see Skeletal Mages pressed down, but unfortunately the fight gets away from them, so Kwak-A-Mole will not be able to get any value out of that ultimate. However, the Zul is alive, the Zul is safe, and that's kinda all that they wanted. Unfortunately, German Efficiency just got their level 16, so there is a talent advantage coming out for just a few extra seconds.
Yeah, due to this little fight, little skirmish happening there, we see no one from the side of Kwak-A-Mole is soaking the bottom lane. I mean, now we have Herm on the Deathwing down here. He can just fly up into the air and join his team as soon as they hit 16. So yeah, now we already see an early start on the objective inside of German Efficiency.
Level 16 picked up by both sides. Deathwing goes up, and what goes up must go down, and preferably on the enemy's backline. You know, we do have an engage from Kusia. We do see that Kerrigan tries to get Dizzy Dwarf down, but Dizzy Dwarf just is able to get into Karin's swarm and regain some of that health bar. Joeri gonna get scared into submission and into death. Meanwhile, Stukov goes down thanks to the flame bomb and Q's of a Deathwing. Level 16, a very huge power spike, gives him a lot of AoE damage from that ability. Kerrigan goes down, and so does Gul'dan. And Kwak-A-Mole wins that fight and are now gonna continue to beat down the D.Va.
D.Va loses the mech there, does not press into explosion. And due to that, Lucia is there and will chase her down. They get the kill and not even looking at their opponent's bruiser cam.
I mean, might as well. No one is here to contest you on the objective, so you can just leave the Kalphas there to just clear it out slowly, but surely, and go take something for yourself, because you were a little bit behind, now you are a little bit ahead, but a little bit does not quite cut it. You have to snowball your advantages, and taking the bruiser camp and pushing with it might just be the thing.
Now we have the Punisher picked up by the blue team as Kalphas finish this job up there. This one will definitely take down the fort, especially due to the cruiser camp being here. The red team is a little bit distracted, and now the fort has taken already quite some hits. It's gonna be a Mortar Punisher, so it's not the greatest one. We still have to be careful not get hit by too many mortars.
Look, you say that he's the weakest one, but look at the amount of circles this bad boy can produce.
That's a lot of circles. In the meantime, Kerrigan looking for a combo belly, misses it and rooted by Xul in return. There are some circles coming in, Deathwing flying in, going in, looking to do some damage.
And the flank from the D.Va actually taking a lot of attention of Kwak-A-Mole, not allowing them to fight the teamfight that they wanted to go for. Dizzy Dwarf gonna get massive shoved away once again as the well falls down, and it is quite well for the side of German Efficiency, funnily enough, because Punishers that's taking down the well does not take down the Keep, and the Keep gets to stay alive for just a little bit longer, producing a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, D.Va falls down, and Johanna falls down as well. The front line tries to engage in, but their backline is not there to follow up at all.
Those 2 kills and they keep taking down, the blue team is not even looking at the core.
Although the core produces 6 circles at the same time, I don't think that Kwak-A-Mole can manage to counteract that in any way possible, but Circle meta might be won by German efficiency at this point, but it doesn't really matter too much when the core is going down. We do see the carry pressing the Chrysalis and a lot of damage from the Qs of the Deathwing, the Qs of the Kel'Thas, and German efficiency just got burned down to the ground.
GG has been called in chat as the core goes down as Kwak-A-Mole manages to win game number 1 in this best of 3 series.
Oh, so that was a game.
Yeah, it was definitely a game. It's as soon as I hit level 6 on the side of Kwak-A-Mole, Deathwing came online, started to just burn away each member of this on the side of German efficiency. And that's one of the moments where you really see the value from Q-Ball on the side of Deathwing.
And I have to point out, Lucio does not get to heal that much HP compared to Stukov, but that's because you can't heal the Deathwing, and the fact that Doom Ratcoat actually manages to get out of that game without any deaths is something to marvel at.
And when we look at the damage numbers of this game, we see Gul'dan actually with the highest damage in this game with 46,000.
Gonna suck.
Deathwing also had 46,000, so it's actually
well, it was close, but Deathwing confirmed bad hero worse than Gul'dan. Get him out of here. Definitely did not win the game for Kwak-A-Mole. And we do see the Kel'Thas followed up by Zul, so the damage in the end was on the side of the team in blue in this particular case. Kerrigan was able to get some pickups, was able to find some combos on her opponents, but unfortunately the damage numbers are a little bit on the lower side, and that's a little bit of an issue.
you just don't have the damage to cure those kills with the Kerrigan combo. Really starting to run into an issue.
Well, Lucio has more damage than you, so...
In the meantime, we can take a look at the map screen. Well, we see that Kwak-A-Mole won game number 1. With this, German efficiency now have the choice between first pick or map pick. They are opting into the first pick, so we're gonna see the map choice from the side of Kwak-A-Mole. I have to say, I really enjoyed their team fights in this game number 1. I would personally kind of expect to see a map like Battlefield of Eternity coming out. Something a little bit more brawly.
Now, you see, the issue is Kwak-A-Mole have not played a game of Battlefield of Eternity in this entire season, so I don't think that they wish to go for that one. Alterac Pass is in fact going to be the map taken, as Kwak-A-Mole preferred to go for a little bit more macro approach.
I mean, I have to say, Alterac Pass is also such a brawly map, so this would have been the second one I would have guessed after Battlefield of Eternity. Due to you having those... the cavalry units you have to free... Like, there's not too much wave management going on there, and the main thing you have to do in terms of macro is doing the camp every 2 minutes. So, it's definitely...
And let's be honest, forgetting to do a camp is a thing that many of us do. Especially down here, but Epic Cup is supposed to be slightly better than the Rare Cup, so I'm willing to assume that there will be more camps taken per minute of game time.
We shall see. I'm really getting hyped.
I like this
for Alterac
I like
Pass.
this prediction.
Go on.
Sorry, I like this prediction from Zen. God, far away.
To get back to the point which I wanted to say, I really am hyped for the draft of Kwak-A-Mole. I mean, we already saw the double bruiser coming in with Deathwing and Xul in this first game. Alterac Pass is usually a map where you can also do this, where you can have 2 bruisers, because you have kind of 2 offlanes with the top and the bottom being so. So it's definitely a map where you can also use this. It's also really annoying for team fights when they're just 3 heavy heroes, which you cannot really one-shot or try to kill in a very fast pace. You know, you're having the opponent's healer and 1 back backliner you can really kill. Like, that was one of the things we saw before as well in the game. Like, Kerrigan only could combo like 2 people. I mean, cool sometimes, also not always. But like only the was it the Kalphas and the Lucio really? But Lucio is really annoying to combo, and like there's only Kalphas left. And he also has quite some help from his teammate. It's really annoying for heroes like Kerrigan to go up against those sub-bruiser combos.
We can also see that Alterac Pass is a map where some of those a little bit dirty, a little bit cheesy split push strategies might work as well, so we might see something happening on that side as well. So that will be quite interesting to witness if they are gonna go for the Zul split push once again, if they are gonna go for something maybe even more global oriented like the Falstad or God bless, please no, the Haka.
Give us the Dino. Give it to us. Give us the Haka. That's all I want on teams. But yeah, the Haka is the greatest hero of them all, so change my mind.
The Haka is not even the best Zerg offlaner. Come on, dude.
He is.
He's not.
Who is
Stukov
better?
exists. Come on, dude.
Alright, fair, but I would not call Stukov better. I mean, maybe in the 1-1 he wins it, if it's a good Stukov. But in terms of team fights, the Haka is having a way bigger impact. I would say.
Interesting, really, because the Haka is trying to engage, and Stukov is able to provide some very solid disengage with the swipes, with a massive shove even as well, which is usually the choice for the offlane Stukovs for some nasty reasons. Anyway, draft number 2 on Alterac Pass is here to break Samus' hopes and dreams by not showing us a Haka.
And if you think Kwak-A-Mole will close out the series in a quick 2-0 session, exclamation mark bet A in the number of points you want to bet on them. Or if you think German efficiency can come back into this series and bring us towards the game number 3, exclamation mark bet B in the number of points you want to bet on them.
So, I think that thing has to go get banned, right?
Maybe. I mean, he's a good pick. Definitely a great pick for this map, so I would expect a ban against him. Like, he has the lava pool, he has the Q, he can also throw stuns over the wall, so he can just delay the objective for ages on his own.
And he also can't get stunned, which was a big part of why Kwak-A-Mole were able to overpower German efficiency in the teamfights, because German efficiency were relying on those pick-offs, were relying on the Kerrigan to get the combos, and that thing can just walk through them. You don't care, you don't give anything. You're a mother loving dragon. We do have a Deckard ban and the Imperious ban to boot, so preferring to go for a little bit more classic bans. I assume the ETC has to be next. So no deathing.
I mean, like, imagine there's a big dragon who is like really mighty, and just throw your shield at him. Like, what do you expect to happen? Yeah, there we go.
Well, the dragon... I expect the dragon to get stunned and die to my combo. I want to slap the dragon so hard he goes past my team and into the keep. That's Haymaker for you, kids.
In the meantime,
EDC is indeed gonna get banned out.
It is the ban. And we see Cassia being removed again, so no Deathwing ban coming out. Or any other changes in terms of bans on either side. This will leave Diva open again, and she will be again the first pick for our German efficiency. And one thing myself as solo laner would really love to see would be a Sonya being picked up now by Kwak-A-Mole, because Sonya is just so annoying for Diva, because Diva cannot do anything on the lane against her. She can just easily take down the forward in like 5 minutes.
On the other hand, we have a Greymane open, and Greymane has been picked 17 whole times for Kwak-A-Mole throughout the season. That's at least once in every single match that they have played. Statistically. So...
They also pair it up with the Johanna, so this time they have the Johanna, they have the they have the bulky frontliners, which you do not really want to go through.
And that means that the Lucio and the Kel'Thas are left for the other team to pick up. John Efficiency trying to play around their opponents, which might uh, prove to be a sign of weakness. But I think it is a very smart idea, just taking away heroes from your opponents that you know that they play, and making sure that they play heroes that they can't play at all.
Yeah, that's definitely something. Umura did ban, so we see a little bit of a ban against the tank pool coming in. Careful, Samu, I said this yesterday, and 2 minutes later Sony died to D.Va. Yes! D.Va wins lane after level 7 with the mini summoner. Yes, but that was also because the Sonya went for Whirlwind build. If you go for Warpaint, Shot of Fury, and then Poison Spear or Battle Rage as Sonya, D.Va does literally nothing against you on the lane. But yeah, Brightwing being banned out, as Brightwing is in the chat as well.
Welcome to the offlane, where we debate which wet fish is better at slapping itself against the wall. Yeah, I have spent actually most of the lane phase in the previous game trying to calculate this out. 2047 has picked up the D.Vas this game, not willing to get against his ideas for game number 1, and we do have the Liming alongside a Tyrant for Kwak-A-Mole.
I really like this combo coming out from the side of Kwak-A-Mole. I mean, the main engage tool on the side of Kwak-A-Mole so far is the Johanna plus shield, but then you have the Tyrande with the stun, Liming and Grayman with potentially a bullet and Liming burst, or maybe go for the throw to finish the kills. So we see a lot of burst damage coming from the side of Kwak-A-Mole. I would love to see, as the last pick, something on the offlane which can help with setting up those kills.
Maiev is nasty. I have seen some very nasty Maiev bans, Maiev plays in the Rare Cup, and Maiev got actually banned in 5 games out of 5 in the final, so a good Maiev can definitely be very devastating. We do see another Squishy Lizard, and I don't think this is even a game where Greymane has to go for the bullet. I think you just go for the throat and blow up some Lucius.
Yeah, but I also believe that Deathwing could in this game not go Q build, instead go W build, going into the melee form build. You just stand in your opponents for a long time and they're just really annoying to them because they have a rough time killing you.
Actually, does Deathwing interact with Maiev's Warden's Cage?
He does pop them, but he does not get moved by them. So like, he uses them up and makes a way for his team to go through, but he's not being moved because he's unstoppable.
And he's not taking damage during that, right?
No, they don't deal damage.
See? Perfect counter pick. Another game won by the Squishy Lizard for Kwak-A-Mole. Kappa. And yeah, let's figure it out how those teams will phasm on game number 2. No advice listened to for German efficiency, which is why I'm going to start introducing from them. We do have Kusya on Maiev, we do have 2047 on D.Va, Classics is playing Arthas, Nephila is on Lucio, and Black Dragon 7 is not playing the Black Dragon, but rather playing the Kel'Thas.
He's still having to play with fire on his side. On the left side, we've got in the blue, we've got Kwak-A-Mole. Trying to close out this series, we've got Cherry on the Deathwing and Herb. No way, it was Herm on the last game on Deathwing. Herb this time playing the Ming Cherry on the Deathwing. Bobhat Konjin playing the Johanna Doom Redcoat on the Tyrande, and Dizzy Dwarf playing the Greymane.
Petkonin is just one of my favorite names to pronounce because you know you're probably gonna get it incorrect. And that's how it goes in launch. You either make a reference out of your team name or you try to make the names that your casters can't pronounce at all. Shoutouts to you, Team Spartacus. Anyway, we do have a little bit of a brawl in the early game. We do see that D.Va is actually losing a bunch of HP already because you're trying to get the Tether out, but it is a Tether on the Deathwing, so it will not matter at all.
In the meantime, looking at our wontons, we see Molten Blood on the side of Deathwing, so he's probably opting more into the Q build again. No melee form build coming out from him in this game. On the side of D.Va, we also see Pro moves, which will be a really strong talent in the late on team fights. But in the laning phase, it kind of sucks because it does not improve your self-sustain in any way or form compared to the other talents. So she has to be careful. Really worry about her HP pool.
The camps are up, the camps must go down, and that's a thing that everyone does on Ultrac, and you should probably do as well. We do have the owl sent by Kwak-A-Mole to make sure that the enemy team is taking their camp, because otherwise, it even was your game.
It's one thing I really like on this sort of German efficiency. They have the fire, but there's a pull onto the Johanna. Nothing else happens. Because she has nicest momentum on level 1, which will help you quite a lot in taking camps on every map. It's a really good pickup for this map as well.
There's not that many camps you can take on this map. We do have Classics hitting his W on top of this dwarf, and the Tether actually connects with too, but Kusia receives a healthy dose of damage in return. We do have the brawl finishing up without any kills, but some damage was exchanged between the teams.
In the meantime, left wing clearing the top wave and also getting a little bit of damage against the top wall in there.
I mean, I believe that Deathwing will just be a little bit more heavily invested into the offlane compared to the rest of the team, maybe. Not even joining for the team, but just trying to get the wave pushing in, just trying to get those keeps down to make the core of your opponent that much weaker.
Usually you want to clear the top wave first as offlaner on Ultrac pass, just to make sure that you're pushing in. You have those experience soaked on the other side of the map. And then you have time to rotate mid lane, to take the wave there, or help your team with anything that you need to. They're getting back to the level 4 talent. We see Jump for it from the side of Li Ming, so she's able to build a very long time around the objective.
And making sure that you have to get the experience, you have to rotate to the objective as well, because while D.Va has to go there on foot, she does have some boosters to help her on the way, but she still has to go there, while Deathwing can just fly up and drop straight down on the objective, which spawns in the bot lane for the first time in this particular game.
Fair, we've just been top lane all the time. We see it here already starting to take down the wall down up there. He's now on the move towards the mid lane, whereas the red team in the meanwhile clears the minions around the blue objective. They did not copy that because everyone from the opponent's team is also there.
Usually you see that the first objective is not actually taken for a while, because not only you have to capture it, and I mean, let's be honest, capturing it is probably the hardest part. You also have to hold it for 30 seconds, and with the amount of ranged denials that both teams have, I think it will be quite unlikely to see someone get to that objective without a big fight or without taking down that mid fort at least.
See the red objective be taken. Lucy takes big hits from Li Ming there. Gets a bomb. And it's not spread it. Classics taking quite some damage on the outpost there. Now we see Kyoza. D.Va coming in from the back. No, they're not looking too hard for an engage. D.Va back, clears the mid wave first.
And that's where the fun begins, because both teams are just gonna be bouncing around, trying to tease the enemy team, trying to get those cages open. But also you have to pick up all of the experience in the offlane, because that makes you that much closer to level 10, and the team with the first level 10 can just go, engage a fight and win it, forcing the objective wide open for themselves.
In the meantime, with Raymond on the top side for the side of Kwak-A-Mole, would personally love to see Deathwing rotate up there just to make sure that he has the global. He is faster in terms of rotation.
While Kwak-A-Mole are doing great, they are sending everyone in all 3 lanes, but you know what they did not do? They did not take the freaking camp. It is up and it is not receiving damage. That is a mistake. Meanwhile, German Efficiency are doing that on their side of the battlefield, but they open up this objective which Pophead Konin can just capture, and the timer is at 20 seconds already.
Time. See level 7, or of course being hit to see the Firestorm definitely land faster. Oh, a lot of flows onto Lucio. In the lava pool, that Fever Bomb used as well. Pop the Conjin, taking a lot of damage. He stays alive.
Done interrupting once again, and Nefela just is not allowed to get that interrupt, actually dying for the cause, but not even getting to save his team from the wrath of the objective. The cavalry unit will go to the right for the first time in this game. Level 9 both sides, but Kwak-A-Mole are that much closer to level 10. In fact, gaining it from this wave alone, I believe.
Yes, they will. Yeah, the Ming doing a great job. They're poking the objective. Classics is about to get taken out on the Artless there. He gets the Iceborne Fortitude in. Combo coming out the side of Maya. Herm dropping very low. Will he get the kill? No, he does not. Johanna also has the Iron Skin ready again. Level 10s out now in for blue team Kwak-A-Mole. Wave of Force, the Bellowing Roar, Shadow Stalk, Curse Bullet, and the Blast Shield.
Well, let's figure it out together. We do see that the cavalry are marching down all 3 lanes, which means that all 3 lanes will receive at least some damage. But the main focus for Kwak-A-Mole seems to be that bot lane, where the fort is the one starting to not feel so good. In the mid lane, the cavalry unit is already cleared out in the top lane as well, but in the top lane, Deathwing has been doing a great job of just pushing the lane down all by himself as well.
6 getting forced into the corner, has to pop the ghouls, but also gets the sound barrier in.
Connie not feeling so good here. We do have a stun on Nephila, however, and that might be enough to save the Johanna, who gets enough time to wait until the cooldown of Iron Skin goes down to 0, and Johanna presses D, Johanna walks away. Ha ha ha, classic.
Looking at the structures, we see the mid wall has been taken out. Bottom, the fort took some serious damage, dropping very low. On top side, we all see Deathwing again starting to take down the wall.
And Kwak-A-Mole not willing to break the pattern of both camps clashing against each other and just taking their camp a little bit later, missing one of the rotations, but making sure that their camp will still bounce into the camp of their opponents, not allowing either side to get a meaningful advantage.
They also enjoy that their camp is being paired up with the wave a little bit better than their opponents.
Also a very good thing, especially considering that this camp is pushed to the side of Kwak-A-Mole, which means that the towers are able to just get a little bit of damage in as well, which can be quite important in those defenses.
Still a little bit out of tower range, so...
Unfortunate.
Taking a little bit of damage there, but Lucio is here with some healing beats.
Oh.
Level 13 in
Another objective.
The blue team. Half a level lead for them.
Going to spawn in up top. And both teams have level 13, so both teams are on equal counts, and we might actually see a fight for it. But in fact, the engage is found in the mid lane. The Blast Shield connects on top of Classics, and the Tiran's E was engaged there. Dizzy Dwarf going in, trying to find some damage, but unfortunately was not able to execute Arthas there.
Arthas barely getting out. As we also shortly saw Li Ming clearing the bottom wave now again. Starting to push in the bottom, trying to get
bot
the
lane,
down
which
here.
means that Doom Redcoat and Joeri and this dwarf can just go up top and take that camp and take that objective and start pushing the timer down. Very nicely done by Kwak-A-Mole, just recognizing that everyone and their on their opponent's side are in the bot lane and just going up top, making a play up there.
Classic
starting to interact.
objective.
Nephila once again doing the dark deed, gonna get... Ooh, that's a lot of damage from the Qs of Joeri, and he's not even at level 16 yet, but Nephila finally gets down the objective, defends it, and it's stuck at 20 seconds on the timer. A lot of damage done to Classics, but here comes the sound beats to protect the team. Classics gonna stay alive for the time being. Kusia now on the blade of the attack, but gonna get blown up by Herm, who just goes in and is nasty. Kel'Thuz's falls down as well.
Very well done there from Li Ming, getting those 2 resets in. Just securing those kills. In the meantime, thank you, Frank F. Lucas, for the sub in Twitch chat. Yeah, but now, objective has been handled by Kwak-A-Mole. Looking to get this one through. With 5 seconds left. And looking at... Oh, they're starting at the top class even, so looking for some even more value.
And the bot boss is not started by the red team, but that has a flip side. With the objective starting, we do know that the icons on the map disappear, so everyone knows that the blue team is doing the top boss, and the red side is now here to try and make them stop, or even take the boss for themselves, which will be a huge break in momentum, honestly.
Always have to put up 16 in for the blue team. Jared taking a lot of damage.
And Choari is not able to stay alive there. Meanwhile, the engage is there from the red team, and the blue side is not feeling too great, but Herm is still standing on the point until the Lemine falls down. The boss is stolen, and that's almost a team wipe. Only Johanna standing on the blue side. Not a very great play by Kwak-A-Mole. It was a very solid idea, but in the end it bites them back in the butt because it was a little bit mistimed.
Especially Deathwing standing so forward, looking for the opponents, looking to bring some damage onto them. Really gave space for the red team to look at him, just kill him immediately before the fight even started. He was not able to move on the point and get in his bellowing roar to move away everyone on the side of German efficiency. Very well done there by German efficiency, just focusing down the Deathwing before the boss even was finished at the start of the fight.
And level 16 is a huge power spike for the Squishy Lizard, but unfortunately you were not able to execute it because you got executed yourself. We do have the cavalry wave defended with all of the forts that were standing beforehand, still standing. The fort in the bot lane is dead, but destroyed by the fort up top, and the bosses just continue to go into the keep where it is swiftly defended by the wall.
In the meantime, these two forts are still standing, but they took a lot of damage, so when the blue team gets a little bit of push on those lanes, these forts are really in risk of falling fast.
And now the dancing begins on the bottom boss, because that's the objective on the map, that if you take, the other side does not have anything to respond with, because the other boss was taken already. Herm goes in on Classics trying to do some damage, and Joari is here to interrupt that attempt and kill the Arthas himself.
Knife also looking for an engage afterwards, even popping the Warden's Cage there.
Fortunately, nothing is found, and now the times are really looking quite dire for the side of German efficiency yet again, because while you were able to find that fight, take down that boss, now you are left without a tank and without one of your most powerful engage tools while your opponent is taking down the boss.
They don't have Syndragosa.
But they do have the Warden's Cage. It is a circle. Syndragosa is not a circle. Syndragosa is inferior.
True. I'm definitely clearing out those minions around the objective, also getting a little bit of Q damage onto those, and he just ticks down.
Ooh, I like that play by 2047, just going up top and clearing out and getting that split push done, because German efficiency knows that they aren't exactly able to fight, aren't exactly able to do much. So you just have to make some counterplay on the other half of the map and prepare for the defense.
Yeah, German efficiency took their camp and now even forced Deathwing to land on the top side. So Herm trying to delay as much as he can, but there's not much delay. The shield has been used. Raymond dropping low, getting rooted down, and he will be the first one to fall, but everyone else looks like they will get out of there.
And German efficiency just finding a very nice way to force their opponent to split and take a fight 5v4, but unfortunately it doesn't matter much because now Kwak-A-Mole catch out the Kel'Thas and get him down. Just a lot of single target peacocks is how this game is looking so far, and both teams are showing their best to execute those. Pophead Conin looking very low, gets to Seep in the end, but dies before it matters.
Johanna and Greyman dead now on the side of Kwak-A-Mole, and German efficiency with only the Kel'Thas down. They have a numbers advantage, and German efficiency is looking to take this objective.
Meanwhile, the keep in the bottom has fallen, and the waves are now gonna start grazing the core, which doesn't matter much because the core will regen to full always on Ultrac Pass, but it's still something to think about. You are a little bit weaker now for the rest of the game, and you can't take that back.
Especially because the cavalry unit, which will now spawn in the bottom side when German efficiency will take the objective, will first have to clear those waves before they can walk up. towards the fort. Towards getting some serious damage in.
And now we have an attempt from Kwak-A-Mole to go and interrupt that objective. 3.4 seconds is where the timer will stop. They actually get it. And now they can continue going in, continue fighting, and maybe even try and find the objective for themselves, which will be devastating because that bot lane, as we have said, is pushed in already, and that might even be a core attempt.
A really ballsy move there from sort of Kwak-A-Mole going for the objective channel when they were only in a 4 versus 5 situation. Done by them getting it there.
I find it funny that neither side is actually looking at the objectives now. Just going, taking their camps because the camps are up, they must go down. 247 tries to go for a cheeky channel but gets interrupted and is not able to execute on those devious plans. Meanwhile, both the bot lane and the top lane are reset
has been scouted out. Classic taking a little bit of damage there. It's getting slowed down as well. Definitely looking to zone away on the other side. We see the Burns Cage coming in. So does Soundbearer, but Soundbearer gets countered by the Deathwing Q. Lot of damage onto Lucio. He's just exploding 24/7, and the Dwarf goes in, cures the kill onto 1, onto 2, onto 3. Make it.
Look at this guy. He just sits 1v4 in the backline of German efficiency and takes them one by one before his team finally joins in and helps him kill the Diva. He dies in the act, but that trait is enough for Kwak-A-Mole to get this fight, get this objective, and probably even gets a boss because Li Ming is moving up top, probably just looking for the fort because no one else is joining, but no, this is actually going to be an attempt for the boss. No. Okay.
I would really love to see the boss being taken now here. Can do this with Turan, Ninja, and Ming for sure. Side against it, just pushing the top lane already. In the bottom lane, run direct towards the core, so there's not much in pushing down there.
But no matter what, this is going to be devastating. All 3 lanes are pushed in. We do have the fort falling down up top already. The wave in the mid lane is grazing against the keep wall. And in the bot lane, the wave is going straight into the core. So German efficiency have to defend, and they have to defend all 3 lanes at the same time, which means that they have to take a lot of casualties.
Core now a little bit under attack by the minion waves. They should not be an issue. Yeah, mid keep is now first under attack. Also 3 members on the side of Kwak-A-Mole out there, and Kramer will also join them there. A lot of fire coming in, Luz took a lot of damage. Barely slides out of the fire.
Johanna sitting up top, just making sure that the wave is here, but joining in for the big team fight. Soundbearer is here to save Nephila and Black Dragon from the death, but Joeri uses the Cataclysm to go in. Not the brightest option in the realm of this big squishy lizards, because the lizard is big and is squishy, which means that the lizard will die soon. Although it doesn't matter, because the core is already on less than 3k HP, and now it is actually at 0. And Kwak-A-Mole gets their first win, get to semifinals, and gets there in a very
Game number 2 going over towards Kwak-A-Mole as well.
And that also was a game of Heroes of the Storms that we have watched today.
Black Week 2-0 this game. Looking at damage now in this game, it was a little bit more clear on the numbers. It was again Deathwing being only second placed on the side on the top damage. But this time also second placed in his team, as only Ming managed to poke even more than him. And we also got Dizzy Dwarf on the Kramer with a lot of damage. And when we look at those numbers,
I mean, you don't even have to look at the numbers, you can just look at the last team fight. This was disgusting from the side of Dizzy Dwarf. He just goes in and forces the entire enemy team to focus him while he keeps taking down the targets. The fight did split, and I thought it was a good split for the side of German efficiency, because they had 4 versus 1 in that fight, but the one dwarf who could, he could, and all of his 3 kills are actually the 3 kills from the team fight.
yeah, from the last fight, we just jumped into their opponent's backline, just took them a few targets. We are going into our next series soon.
And they actually have the draft for that one already, so Let's move into Tactical Suicide versus COB Anti-Meta.
Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
There we go, screen is updated.